Just showing you the Emco 5 CNC lathe. It's taken, the base is taken off the chip guard and it's standing on its end with the belt guard over the edge of the tray to support it there. Then it's got a further packing, a wood packing, to make it secure. It's pretty steady. I've done this to check and switch over the gib plates, the jib plates. If you imagine this is the jib plate with the 3 holes in, to do what I'm going to suggest is get access to the bottom screw of the short jib, undo it completely and take the screw out. You then have to probably move the carriage up and pack it to remove the second screw, take that out completely, and then before you take the top screw out, with a felt pen put a mark at the top so that that will indicate to you once you've got the jib plate off which is the topmost part, because what you're going to do is you're going to turn it around end to end then screw it back on again, because this gib will only be working on this narrow edge here down this side, and you'll see evidence of that once you remove it. So once you removed it, clean it off, clean the cross slide and the point where it meets the bed, and turn it round. Then what you're effectively doing is you're replacing it, because you're putting an unworked surface back onto the bed. So you have to fiddle that back in with your screws, put your screws in and tighten them off. Don't over tighten them just enough so that you can feel them. You feel them tight. When you've done that and got all of the screws in, if you lift the bed up and allow it to fall under its own weight, then just tighten them all up slightly more to feel how easy it is or hard it is to lift it, and just keep adjusting them until you get to the point where you're nearly locking it off. Then you know you've gone just a little bit too far, so just slacken them 2 or 3 degrees of rotation. And when you've done the first one and you're happy with the adjustment on that, you then have to tackle the long plate. Do that in the same manner. Pack it up so you can get at the screws. 4 screws. And don't forget to put the mark the top of it, so that when you take it off you can turn it over end to end, and that will put the new working surface onto the bed guide, and that should last a good few years with normal use. These are very difficult to adjust when the lathe is in situ, but what this also allows you to do is check the brushes, check the motor brushes. You can see that with the lathe in this fashion that it's very easy to get access to the brush holder, which is normally inaccessible when it's on the lathe, when it's sitting on the chip guard. So you can undo that and take the brush out and check it for length. See how I've got it spaced up on a piece of timber just to make it steady. It bears down at this point onto the bed, onto the tray. And when you come round back of the tray, you can see that the cover is keeping this level with the flush with the end. And there's the other brush holder, so you can check that as well. Clean your spindle. It's the easiest way to do the lathe. And there's the details here of the brush details. 11.75 by 7.9, and this particular brush was 24.13 long, and the M30 was stamped into the brush itself. I'm not certain whether that's the brush number or the grade of the carbon. It could be either. But it is important, if you're replacing the brushes, to replace them with the similar, if not the same, grade of carbon. Too hard and you'll damage the motor. Too soft and they'll wear out rapidly. Well, there we go. I hope you found this useful. You'll soon know when you've got it as you need it. Silky smooth. That's all for now. I hope it helps you. This is the Z axis, Z axis if you're in America. This was the part that broke off, which is the attachment where it attaches onto the underside of the saddle. So this transmits the power from the ball nut onto the saddle to move the saddle back and forth on the bed. This is the replacement. I've made the block. I've left the back on it as well, so that it extends right to the end here. These are the fixing holes to fix it back up to the lathe. And what we've got there is we've got two 3mm M3 screws that go through and fix into the existing block, and there are also two 2.5 roll pins that extend through this block and into the other block to add strength. Maybe a bit of an overkill, but better safe than sorry, I guess. I haven't got any felts, so I've slipped some silicone sleeving over these until I can get some felt cut to shape to act as wipers on the ball screws to prevent swarf going into the ball nut.